Hi friend, David here from Learn Stage Lighting, and this week what I want to talk about is something pretty cool. So this week we are in the middle, we're actually just starting today, opening up Learn Stage Lighting Labs, where we're opening registration. We do this 4 times a year publicly to let people in to get the full training experience at Learn Stage Lighting. And I don't want to gloss over that because that's a really big deal. If you've been watching this channel, if you've been learning, and you say, okay, David, I'm ready to dive deeper. I'm ready to take my lighting seriously. I'm ready to grow and grab that shortcut to really get started. Then you definitely want to check out Learn Stage Lighting Labs here because it's only going to be open for about a week before we close again until our next quarterly opening. But there's something new that I want you to know about inside of Learn Stage Lighting Lab, something we've been testing quietly and we're finally ready to make public. And that is Learn Stage Lighting gear. So for the longest time, I've shied away here from equipment sales. And I've done so for good reason, especially as a smaller channel and business, as I've been growing. I have always wanted, and this is like of the utmost importance to me, that if I make a gear recommendation to you, that it is unbiased as possible. Because what I see, unfortunately, out there in the industry is all too often someone goes to a retailer or a dealer for advice. They want to know what gear to buy. And that retailer or that person who's selling the gear, they may only sell 1 or 2 brands, or maybe they have one brand that their commissions are significantly higher in. And so they default to that brand, whether that brand is the best for the user or not, okay? And that really crushes me because ultimately, my goal and what I like to do here on this channel is, and in Learn Stage Lighting Labs, is when I recommend a piece of gear to people, I want to make sure I'm recommending the best for their needs, the best for your needs, whatever that piece of gear is. And so I've shied away from gear sales for the longest time. I've stayed far away from it because I've always just wanted to refer people because I don't want to be tied down to a specific brand. I don't want to be tied down to a specific piece of gear, to a specific brand of gear, and then only be making recommendations out of that brand if it's not always going to be the best for the person who's looking to buy lights. Okay? So now we're at a stage where Learn Stage Lighting has grown enough that I can become either as a wholesaler or direct dealer, a dealer for pretty much any brand that I want to be able to provide. And couple that with the fact that I kept getting the question from people, okay, David, we appreciate your videos. We appreciate your recommendations. A lot of those personalized recommendations happening inside of Learn Stage Lighting Labs. We appreciate all of that, okay? Can you help us find a good dealer to buy this from? And for the longest time, I really stayed out of that. I really said, just search, go through a website, you can contact one of the major retailers, find a dealer in your area, etc. But what I got back from people is, okay, just a hunger and a need to say, you know what, David, this is not helping us as much as if you would be able to sell us the gear directly. So now we can. So if you're in the US, we can sell you the gear from pretty much most of the major brands in lighting, anything that I talk about on this channel. Okay? And we can do this and we're not going to be biased about what we recommend to you based off of commission. How's that? Well, the way that I'm structuring this to make sure it's fair and awesome for everybody is for Learn Stage Lighting Labs members, and we're opening signups this week. There's the option to join us in Learn Stage Lighting Gear. It's an optional approach where we start with a rig review. You tell me about what lights you have, you send pictures, video, whatever you've got, and ask for recommendations to make your lighting system better. You ask me for, okay, David, if I was thinking about this, or I want to do that, or just wide open, hey, I want to add to my rig, I want to make it better, what would you recommend? And then I look at personally the whole rig. I look at your console, I look at your control, I look at the lights that you have, and I make recommendations to you completely within your lab subscription. Okay? And then if you want to buy the stuff, if you're like, okay, David, now I'm ready to buy that gear, I'd like to, then we can get you a really great price. Because what I found was two things. I've talked about pricing in this industry before. And what you'll find in this industry is if you're buying multiple pieces of gear, okay, generally over $1,000 worth of stuff, then you should not be paying the internet price, the price that you see posted on all the major retail sites, okay? Because, well, for a single piece of gear that's usually fair for the amount of time put into the sale, etc., when you get into multiple pieces of gear, we can do better than that. And as a Learn Stage Lighting Labs member, and through our gear program, we can beat even those prices. We can do even better than what I can do for, just an average person, because you're invested in your lighting, because you're invested in the labs, and we're going to take the time to review your rig, to make those recommendations, whether the best deal is through us or through someone else. So, with that said, this is now an included part of Learn Stage Lighting Labs, and as I mentioned, the labs is open this week, but only for about a week. So don't miss out on this opportunity. And then I've got one last thing to chat about. Right now, at this time when I'm recording this, just before it goes live, there is a microchip shortage worldwide going on, and that's supposed to last for a few years. That's what a lot of the experts are saying. And shipping rates are going up for containers, okay? Now, this affects our industry. Already, again, I'm recording this in late May. We've seen some different audio companies. I've seen some lighting companies raise their prices already on gear, and it's inevitable. Their component costs are going up. Their shipping costs are going up. Unfortunately, at this time, we're going to see rates going up. And so if you've been thinking about making a gear purchase, just be aware that some brands have already raised prices. Other brands, I'm hearing murmurings that, within the next few months, you'll see pretty much every brand raising their prices to deal with these new heavier costs. So if you've been on the fence, you've been thinking about getting some stuff, you want some recommendations, I really recommend checking out Learn Stage Lighting Labs this week, checking out the gear portion, because prices are going to be going up. It's, unfortunately just part of the situation we're in right now. I can't change it. You can't change it. But if you have been on the fence, don't delay. As I mentioned, Learn Stage Lighting Labs members get this gear program for free. You can buy gear through us, get an amazing deal, get the best deal that we can offer you as a Labs member, and we can give you a great price savings and help out the site, help us to grow as well. So if that sounds good, check out Learn Stage Lighting Labs. Like I mentioned, we're open for just this week for new registrants. If you are a Labs member, take advantage of this while it's here. We'll be operating the gear program forever, for as long as we're around. But, prices on gear are definitely forecasted to go up, and I'm not trying to be, using some scarcity or some fake marketing or anything like that. It's just literally the truth that I'm hearing about, that I'm seeing, and I want to make sure if you were thinking about buying something that you go ahead, and if it's a good time for you, go ahead and do it. Ask us for a quote within Learn Stage Lighting Labs. We'd love to help you out. I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you guys on the site. Thanks.